10 to 15 years from now, many of you will grow up and you'll open your eyes and you will not be satisfied with the person that you've become. You will not be satisfied with the person you become. You will not feel like you've accomplished much of any of the dreams that you had. And it's because you're in a pursuit of fitting in. And I'll tell you, like I was saying, I've gotten to a point in my life where I don't really fit in anymore. I don't fit in. Like I no longer fit in my life. I don't. I talk about God way too much for most people. Way too much for most people. I am the man today that 5 years ago I would have said is completely insane. 5 years ago, I would not be hanging out with me today. I wouldn't. Because I would be the type of person that is always trying to convert you. The type of person that's always trying to talk to you about business and talk to you about money and talk to you about prosperity and talk to you about provision and talk to you about ideas. And all I really want to do is just drink and chill and talk about chicks and whatever. And that's just so far from who I am today. And so like I'm saying all that because it's like I've chosen not to fit in anymore. I've chosen to just separate myself and break myself away from the average. And when I say average, average means like there's nobody that's special. There's nobody that's below. It's like average is just like the most bland, regular person you can think of is what you would consider average. But that also, another word for average is mediocre. It's not a bad word. It just means average. It just means not special. It just means not extraordinary. It just means ordinary. Just extraordinary without the extra. Just take that away. That's mediocre. And I've just chosen not to be in that class of people. And here's the problem. When you are the one or two or three people out of 100, that means that you're the minority. And when you're the minority, you don't fit in. But then the question you have to ask yourself is, who do you want to be 5 years, 10 years from now? Like 10 years from now, I really want to have this multi-7-figure business just cooking, man. Like I want to have a relationship that's so close with God that like I was in the gym just the other day and I was just moved to tears simply because of a conversation I was having with a friend of mine where I knew I was in the right place at the right time, having the right conversation. Like that is what I'm looking for. That connection with God where you just feel the Holy Spirit take you. It's better than sex. It's better than anything. It is such a refreshing feeling to have the presence of God in your life like that. And so 5, 10, 15 years, like that's all I want. I don't want much else other than that. I want to be living the life that I know that I deserve. And the Lord will give it to you. Knock and the door will be opened. The Lord will give it to you. So that's the life that I want to live. Like I want my future me to say, Max, you're so smart because you spent the last 10 years of your Marine Corps career building a 7-figure business. You are so smart. And I'm going to retire. And there's going to be a lot of people that came up with me in my first enlistment, second enlistment, third enlistment. And they're going to say, I always knew you could make it. I always knew you'd be great. They're going to say, I'd love for you to help me out. They're going to say, how did you do it? Oh, you were lucky. It was an overnight success. But what they don't see is that right now, like, you'll watch me on here and you won't even realize that I could be just watching a movie. I'm planning on making $10,000 today. Like, that's my plan. Like, that's how I wake up every day. And I'm going to sit here and I'm going to work and I'm going to grind. I'm going to create something. I'm going to do something. I'm going to add value to the world. I'm going to help somebody. I'm going to create a piece of content. I'm going to change this world. I'm going to do something to make that dream a reality. That's what I'm going to do. And so the people who say it was overnight or it's an accident or you're lucky, they can't look back on these moments. Like, they because they're not there. They don't know. Right? The wrinkles you gain and the gray hair that you get. Nothing comes easy. See, it's like you got to drop the habits. You got to drop some habits for other habits. Like, you got to make sacrifices in this life. You got to make choices. You got to make choices. What choices are you making today? Did you choose to exercise this morning? Let's start there. Did you choose to wake up and exercise this morning? Did you choose to go to the gym and get after it, to put on your shoes and run the block a few times? Did you choose to do that? Did you make your bed this morning? Did you clean your room this morning? Did you shave your face and cut your hair and put on something fresh this morning? Did you clean your car this weekend? Like, did you set yourself up for success? Did you groom yourself? Okay, we'll start there. You make choices. Because it's a give and take, right? Like, did you choose instead to sleep in an additional hour, 2, 3 hours, right? Like, you could have woke up at 4 or 5, you woke up at 7. So then, because you made that choice, what happens when you got to be at work at 8? Who's more awake? Who's more ready for the day? Who's going to be more on attack? Who's going to be the person to attack the day? The person that woke up at 4, drank their coffee, prayed to the Lord, said, thank you, God, for this life, went out, got after it, and then they got to work and they're feeling fresh. They got no crusties in their eyes. Like, they are ready to go. Or the person who slept in, got that additional rest, woke up at 7:30, rushed to make their coffee, rushed to get dressed, rushed to get out the door, got crusties in their eyes, didn't eat breakfast, didn't exercise, didn't make their bed, and then they run off into this job that they're expected to produce something in, and their brain is off until 11 o'clock. It's a choice you make. And when you make that type of choice every single day, well, here's the kicker. The choice you make that morning leads you to the choice that you're going to make the next day. That choice you make that morning is going to lead you to the choice you make the next hour. So what will a tired person do? Because you're tired. 7, 8 o'clock, you're tired. So what does a person who's tired do during their lunch? They go take a nap in the car. They doom scroll on the phone. Okay? And then they go back and they do another 3 or 4 hours of half-baked work after chow. And then what? They go home and life begins. And so, the choices. Now look, there's no right or wrong way to live life. There's no right or wrong way to live life because you get one life. There is only one thing I recommend. It's that you build a relationship with God. If you want to sleep till 8 a.m. rather, and whatever, but you're close with God, good. Right? We're good. Right? That's my recommendation. But outside of that, there is a way to live in your prime. There is a way to be prime, and it comes down from your choices. These are actions, but then we also have the choices of who we spend our time with who we spend our time with becomes a choice. Like I used to spend my time with friends. I remember when I was about 24 or 25, it was like, what are we up to, guys? What are we doing? Let's hang out after work. We come over, we drink, we play the game, do this thing, whatever. And it's a waste of time. But you see, the funny part is people want to thrive. They want to build something special. They want to do something great. They want to have something for themselves, but they don't put that work in. And so, again, the choices you make. What choices are you going to make? Because those choices also get you caught up in bad situations with bad people, right? Think about it. Like, you find yourself in a situation where you're drinking, and you go and you date a woman that you probably shouldn't be dating. She doesn't align with your morals. She doesn't align with who you are as a man. But you date her anyway. Don't use protection. That's a choice. You knock her up. That's a choice. It happens, right? Now what? Well, now you're having a kid. Or you commit murder and get an abortion, right? Whatever you choose. And then you have this kid with this woman. She's not healthy for you. You're stuck 18 years. There's your life right there. It's a choice. You want to build a business? Gone. You want to go to college and graduate? Gone. It's the choices you make. Here's the thing about choices. We can't blame people for the decisions that we make. We can't blame people for the roads that we're on. I grew up in Philadelphia with parents that were addicted to crack cocaine. I used to watch my dad beat my mom up so bad she couldn't use her eyes. I knew how to cook crack before I knew my times tables. In fact, I still don't know my times tables. If you've ever joined any of my classes or any of my coaching, if you've ever done one-on-one coachings with me, you will notice something extremely profound about who I am. As intelligent as I may seem, and as good with my words as I am, and as many books as I've read, I can't spell. I can't spell because I never really paid attention to school because it was all about surviving for me. I grew up in a really rough life. And so I know what I'm talking about when I say that you don't have to stay in that world. Like, I grew up in the gang-ridden neighborhoods. I grew up in the neighborhoods where you had to fight on your way home from school every day. I grew up getting jumped. I grew up with my friends getting shot. I grew up with my friends dying from drug overdoses. I've had girlfriends die from drug overdoses. I've had buddies die from drug overdoses. I used to hang out with my sister, and her and her friends were smoking opium and heroin while we're all just hanging out. I'm 14 years old. And I knew at that moment I could have smoked with them. I could have smoked it. But I knew in my mind, like, that's a bad thing to do. That's not pot. That's heroin. That's bad, right? Like, I knew that. Choices. The question is, do you have the will to succeed? What are your survival instincts? I think a lot of people forget that, man. It has a lot more to do with your survival instincts than it does with anything else. Like, if you do drugs that you know that most people never get off of and die on, well, then your survival instincts are horrible. Side note. My point is, the choices you make determine who you are. And so, you don't have to be a product of your environment. You just need a good idea. You just need a good idea. You just need to be able to sit. You need a good idea. You need a notebook. You need to sit and you need to think. You need to rid yourself of all bad habits, rid yourself of all vices, rid yourself of all negative people. In fact, you need to rid yourself of all people in general. Unless it's your significant other, meaning your spouse or your children, everybody else needs to go away. If they are not somebody who's lifting you up and giving you a career, a job, a way to grow, then you got to let them go. And so you sit down and you have an idea and you think about what you want to accomplish. See, some people call it the law of attraction. I call it Jesus. in God, literally giving you what you want. However you want to look at it, God is giving you what you want. Because this world, this universe is not real. So when you see, no matter what your situation is, if you are like me and you grew up in a very poor world, in a very negative world, with negative people, with no money, no opportunity, if you're like me and you grew up in that world, it does not require anything but just a thought for God to give you and grant you anything and everything that you want out of your life. That's all it requires. He will give it to you. He will give you whatever you want out of your life. You got to just sit down and actually look. You just got to sit down and want it, right? One day you'll be like me and you'll realize it's God. I was a huge believer in the universe and I knew there was a creator. I just didn't know what. I couldn't get behind, religion and this idea of this guy named Jesus. And I'm like, I'm too smart, too logical for that. Yeah. All right, whatever, dude. And when you start to have these visions, man, you start to see things. Or even worse, when you're like me, you get into this position where you're going to take your own life. You're going to turn down the wrong road. Like you're giving up. Because it's just that bad. And then you say, look, if you're real, show me. God, if you're real, show me. And then he will. And he'll expose himself to you. And that's for me, that's when the world changed. Because that's when everything changed. Within days, I felt better. Within days, money started coming in. Within weeks, my heart healed. Within months, I found the love of my life. Like everything changed. Lost a family, gained a family. I'm a walking book of Job. Truthfully. But that's not the point here. The point is, ask and you shall receive, seek and you shall find, knock and the door will be open to you. When you write your goals down and you sit and you clear your mind, you clear your life of things, and you write down what you want to dream of and what you want to accomplish and who you want to be, it will become. You will be given it. It will happen to you. But it always comes down to who you surround yourself with. Who do you surround yourself with? What is around you in your life? Because that is what you think about. What you think about is what comes to fruition. That's why when you hear people talk about, man, I'm broke. That's why they stay broke. Man, I don't have money. That's why they stay broke. Because that's what they think about. Man, my marriage is falling apart. That's why it keeps falling apart. They can't see the good in anything. If I opened up my phone and I showed you what my plan was, by June of 2025, everything on the list came to fruition. I had to create a bigger list. I had to make a bigger list. I had to change the list. Look, I'm not going to tell you guys figures and numbers. I had to increase it. I had to 10x it because I easily met my initial goal. I wanted to be a better father. I wanted to be a better Marine. I wanted to have this and this and that and this and that. And then I wanted to be able to have a better, fulfilling relationship with God. Anything you say that you want comes to fruition. It all becomes real. Nothing is impossible for God. Nothing is impossible. But I'm telling you something. If you choose not to believe in Him, it's almost like not believing in yourself. And that's the missing link. I've never met a happy atheist in my life. I find atheists that sit here and pretend like they're happy, but they're not happy. I've never found a happy atheist in my life. Because the world is a complex place, so we try to make sense of it. It becomes just depressing. It's like, look, why are we existing if this is just what we have? You'll never find a happy atheist. And if they say they're happy, I don't believe them. I think they're lying. See, I wanted to build something for people. For them to be able to experience what I am experiencing. I wanted to build something for people to help them experience what I am experiencing. What am I experiencing? Well, I'm experiencing abundance. I'm experiencing love from my wife. I'm experiencing a budding business, helping people build something special, changing the lives of young people, old people, speaking on stages. I want people to be able to do that. But it's hard because there's so many negative people in the world that their brain is rotten. And they don't even know it. They don't even know their brain is rotten. Like, if you offer somebody a way to do something, they will already assign a level of difficulty to it in such a way that they won't ever do it because their brain is rotten. They don't think it's for them. They don't think they are capable of it. Not because they don't want to do it, but because they don't believe it's for them. People who are so afraid to move forward in something because what if it's not the right thing? What if I fail? You already failed. But they don't see it because their brain is rotting. You already failed. The fact that you're not starting the thing means you're failing. Like, people's brain is so rotting that they don't believe in themselves. They will believe in anything but themselves. Isn't that a scary world to live in? When the majority of people will believe in anything. And I say the majority, not all. Not all. There are people out here doing some amazing things. But what would happen if, let's just say, because it's like 10% of Americans that are actually living out a goal, living out a dream. 90% of people, it's really 93, but we'll call it 90%. It makes it simple math for most people who are watching this. 90% of people give up on their dreams after about 5 months. 93%, 95% give up instantly, within weeks. Whether it's to get in shape, whether it's to build a business, whether it's to try something new, whether it's to stop using nicotine or drugs or alcohol or just to grow or to be a better father, they did just give up because they don't believe in themselves. They can't make a decision. They can't make a decision. See, they're stuck making choices. And they've yet to realize that making a choice and making a decision are two different things. When you make a choice, you can change your mind. Like, I can choose today that I'm going to do an Instagram live every single day, right? I'm making a choice. But then tomorrow comes, I'm like, man, I'm not going to do that because I got something else to do instead. I've changed my mind. But now if somebody paid me $50,000 to make an Instagram video every single day, and I made a choice. I made a decision to take that money. Now I have a responsibility to do that every day. I'm going to do that. Right now, it's no longer a choice to do it. It has now become a decision. And there's only one decision. And the decision was when I took the money for the agreement to do it. Or if I paid someone money to start a business. Like, if I let you into my business for free, if I say, I'm going to teach you to build a speaking business, I'm going to build it with you, and I let you do it for free, that's a choice. You choose to do it But then a week from now, when it gets hard and I'm asking a lot of you, you choose something else. You change your mind. That's why I don't let people in my programs for free. That's why I charge them a good bit of money, because it has to be a decision. Because when you make that decision, you change from a choice to a decision. You're now focused on the goal. And you're going to invest yourself financially, and you're going to invest yourself with your time and your heart. And your chances of getting the result you seek, and results that you didn't even know you were going to get, secondary and tertiary results, become very prevalent, very possible, and highly likely. But that's the difference between a choice and a decision. Most people walk around this world making choices, and then they change their mind when it becomes inconvenient. They change their mind when it becomes challenging. They change their mind when it becomes hard. They change their mind when they're no longer motivated. Because when they started, they were motivated. The motivation has ceased. And now they're like, how do I keep going? Because it never had anything to do with motivation from the beginning. It was about discipline. It was about making the decision that no matter how you feel, I'm going to continue to pursue it. No matter how I feel, I'm going to continue to pursue it. That's the thought process. But people, listen, folks, you gotta be different. That's the way that a 1%er thinks. Honestly, that's the way that a 10%er thinks. Just being the 10%, bro. 10% has better relationships with their spouses. The 10%, they have better income, right? Top 10% of income earners, I think it's like $250,000, $300,000 a year. $300,000 a year would change the life of so many people. And the crazy thing is, people don't even realize how easy it is to make $300,000 a year. Now, I'm not saying that it's easy, but they don't realize how easy it is. It's not that hard to do. But people don't realize it. Why don't they realize it? Well, because they have this belief. They have this belief. And we're not here talking about money. I'm not here to talk to you about money. My point is, though, it's about the way we think about our life. It's a way we think about this life. See, somebody who does not believe in God will think that things are hard. But when you know that God is real, you realize that nothing is impossible. Not only is it impossible, it is probable. You realize that the world we live in, this is not the end. That this isn't actually even life. You learn that life extends beyond this. Way beyond it. So you learn to have fun with your existence. Don't get me wrong, sometimes it's frustrating. Sometimes we get a little frustrated. Sometimes we get a little tense. It's true. But it's a fun experience to live in this world, to live this way. It's fun because this world is designed for people to create and to grow and to build and to change and to develop and to just explore this world. And not just explore the world in terms of go places. I mean, explore the world, explore you. What are you capable of? It's designed for you to explore what you are capable of, what you can do, what you can be. It's designed for you to see how far you can take your physicality. It's designed for you to see how far you can grow your mind, how close you can become to what's next in life with God. It's designed for you to build and create something of status. Did you guys know that the idea of having a W-2 job wasn't even real in 1950s 1950, or excuse me, 1850. Like, it didn't even exist. Having a career, a job, didn't even exist. People had to do something to get something. You worked, you got paid. You traded a skill, you got paid. You created something, you got paid. You provided something, you got paid. Everyone was an entrepreneur. And we live in a world where people, they don't have dreams of that. So then the real question here is, how do we thrive? How do we win? How do we survive? How do we do more than just pay bills? How do we do it? Well, we make the decision that we're going to grow in our faith. We make the decision that we're going to grow in our life. We make the decision that we're going to grow in our family. We make the decision that, like, I'm going to take care of myself. I'm going to make the decision to wake up early. I'm going to get that extra time. I'm going to make the decision to use my 5 to 9 to build something special. I'm going to take the skills that I do have. I'm going to create some type of offer to the world. I'm going to package it in a bow with a nice knot, and I'm going to offer it to the world. I'm going to teach somebody something. I'm going to create something. I'm going to write a book that can become an asset. 10 Lessons to Escape Mediocrity and Build Your Dreams. I have made many thousands of dollars selling this book because it's $10 every time someone buys it. I make $10, right? This book took 3 days to write. My life experiences. It's written, it has like 10,000 words. It's almost like an essay. 15, 20,000 words. It's not a lot, but you could do that. And you can self-publish it and create an asset for yourself. You can go ahead and put yourself in a position to take that experience in relationships and that thing you went through, how to overcome a divorce in 4 weeks. And you put somebody on a journey to overcome divorce, the thing that took you 6 months to break through, to give them the secret to it in 4 weeks. And is it going to be perfect? No, it's not going to be perfect, but just go for it. Build a program and help people. Help people. In fact, I'm going to actually be creating a program like that. How to overcome divorce in 4 weeks. I'm going to create that program. You can do it too. You can build something to change lives. And guess what? People will buy it because they need your help. They want your help. They're begging for your help because they need help. So what they're going to do is they're going to ask you to help them. And they'll pay you $500, or they'll pay you $1,000 for you to help them. And then you get 10 or 20 people to do that. That's $20,000 for you to help 20 people do this. That's what you're going to do. You're going to change people's lives. You're no longer going to be a standby type of person, a standby guy. You're no longer going to be the dude that's clocking in and clocking out and waiting for somebody to tell you when you can go use the freaking bathroom like a dog. Telling you when you have to come to work. Hey, big dog, you're working Christmas today. I don't think so. You got to make a decision to become that person. How do you do that? It's by creating something and building something that it belongs to you. So if you want help building it, you want help growing it, reach out to me. I will help you build an entire program. That's what I'll do. But you got to make a decision to do something. Do it on your own. Do it with help. I don't care. But stop being mediocre, man. You're better than that. Your mom and dad did not birth you so you can just work at Jeff Bezos' factory, dude. God did not create you so you can smoke blunts and drink 40s and then have 3 kids and then just sit around working all day. God did not create you so you can be somebody's, just freaking, toy. God did not create you so you could just drive somebody's truck. God did not create you so you can just be some x-ray technician and just work on this stupid machine for the rest of your life. God did not create you so you can put your dream of writing that book on the back burner. So you can put your dream of being a teacher and guiding people on the back burner. Because so you can be that dream of being a speaker and changing the world on the back burner. God did not create you to do that. God did not create you so you can go to a 4-year university, get $40,000 in college debt, and go get a job making $75,000 a year and just wonder what's next for you. Like, that's not why you exist, dude. I don't know about you, but I'm tired of living that way. And I haven't been living that way for a long time. That's why I feel different. That's why I feel weird. Gotta make some choices, team. Every day.